Thank you for watching DevRelCon Tokyo 2021 interview session. I'm Daisen, co-owner of the conference. In this series, we invite awesome speakers of the event and ask them to introduce themselves and their talks. Today's show, we have Matt Kiernander. It's my first time to talk with him, and actually, I had some talk with him previously. Backstage. So it was pretty much fun chat with him. So I'm very excited. Are you ready? Please welcome Matt. Hi there.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, thanks for joining. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fabulously. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Yeah, like I said, it's my first time to interview you, and probably, many people want to know about you. So why don't we get started with your introduction yourself? So please talk about yourself, who you are, what you do, what are you interested in?
Great, sure. Hello, everyone. My name's Matt. I'm a software developer and content creator from New Zealand. I did a computer science degree at uni, also did a marketing degree, which has kind of led me into the developer advocacy realm quite nicely. I've worked in New Zealand for a couple of years. I also worked in Amsterdam for a year at an agency working on some pretty cool projects, one of which was Green Wheels, and another one we did some work on the Netherlands National Supercomputer Network, which was a lot of fun, very challenging though. And yeah, I've been creating content on YouTube for around 5 years now. And yeah, it's something that I'm super passionate in. I think it's got a lot of crossover with developers and technical people. And I'm really quite excited to be here and be able to kind of share that kind of love of content with you all.
Thank you, Matt. Yeah, I actually went to your YouTube channel, and I saw you have many followers. So let me ask you a question. When did you start your channel?
I started in 2016, actually. And back then, I was watching a lot of content around like hardware reviews for like PC components, so like motherboards, CPUs, graphics cards. And I think the first video I ever did was doing a performance review of Star Wars Battlefront 2, a particular set of graphics cards. And yeah, I really love the whole process, like doing the filming and getting involved with photography and then lighting and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, it just kind of grew from there.
Oh, cool. And recent video, you tell about your career with the career in the IT or career in a programmer. So it was actually pretty interesting. You actually opened up the user story, from beginning to the recently. So did you change like a theme or in a direction that your topic that you're in channel recently? Why did you did you decide to talk about those things?
Yeah, so I think so initially I started off doing like kind of tech reviews, I guess, and then as I started my career in computer science and software development, there was a lot of questions that I found weren't being answered on YouTube, um, and a lot of the videos that I tend to make are videos in which I answering the questions that I wish I had. So anything to do with like salary or like transparency around that is quite near and dear to my heart. So I did a whole video where I went through every single job offer I've ever had and the remuneration attached to that, as well as all my previous salaries. I'm a big advocate for kind of like open pay scale. So companies like Buffer and a couple of other companies, you can kind of see where everyone's graded, and it just means that everyone is kind of paid what they're worth, and there's no kind of discrimination or anything like that comes into how much you should be paid. As well, I've done a video around a little bit more of a sensitive topic on burnout as well. So yeah, I kind of like doing these videos that that's just content that I wish I had when I was kind of going through these things, or finding out how much I should be paid, kind of the struggles of being a software developer, and also trying to focus on more positive things as well. So yeah.
Cool. Yeah, those things are exactly that I wanted to know if I when I started my career in the IT industry, because I didn't know how much programmers make, but how they're in a career path in this IT field. So I really appreciate that you shared your experience to the younger generations or upcoming to the programmers. Yeah. So
Yeah.
let's get into your talk. So you're talking about the YouTube stuff at the DevRelCon Tokyo. So can you share, what the talk would be, but don't go too further. I don't want to spoil
I'll
all
give
the.
it all away. Okay, I'll keep some secrets.
Yeah.
Cool. So basically, the talk I'm doing is like it's the title's YouTube Masterclass for Developer Advocates. Essentially, I'm just going to be talking about how developer advocates can use YouTube, both in terms of a personal branding thing, as well as for creating content for companies. So um, first of all, kind of like what are the main benefits of YouTube, why you should consider YouTube as a platform for hosting like online learning resources or trying to like build a community, foster that engagement, as well as like how to go about that. So if you decide YouTube is a platform for you, then how do you even start? Like what kind of content strategy should you be looking at? As a developer advocate, your job isn't full-time YouTuber. Your role as a developer advocate. So it's hard doing a full-time job uh, and a YouTube channel as well. Like I can understand if your company's hiring you to kind of manage that YouTube channel, you also have other responsibilities there. So trying to find out more effective ways of how you can manage creating content for a YouTube channel, but also manage your other work as well. So like developing learning resources, providing stakeholder feedback and passing that on to developers, and all the traditional stuff that you'd ordinarily do as an advocate. So I really want this to kind of be a be all and end all of like why you should use YouTube, how you should get started producing content for your company's YouTube channel. What are the kind of like do's and don'ts, and what are some good use cases as well to look at? So looking at companies like AWS, Webflow, ConvertKit, and then taking a look at kind of similar companies or similar brands and how they're doing very well and how some of these tech companies aren't, because it's one of the things that I've found just doing research for this talk. But I'll let people come and watch the talk to find out what that is. That's also part of a YouTube secret. Always have to leave a little breadcrumb trail for them to follow.
Cool. Yeah, it's very interesting topic, myself as well. So COVID-19 hit hard. So a lot of the web people started streaming. Actually, I'm the one, new starter last year. So I started Twitch streaming because my company uses Twitch. So yeah, I'm also curious why you should choose YouTube over the Twitch. Do you have any comments
Ooh.
around the platforms? I don't bash hitting hard to the channels, but I want to listen to your opinion about it. Platform.
That's a really, really good question, because I think that's not necessarily even a developer advocate issue. That's a wide issue that a lot of kind of professional and also like hobbyist streamers as well are trying to figure out. There's a really good YouTuber called Harris Heller, and he dives into that exact same thing. He actually just went from Twitch to streaming full time on YouTube. Um, so yeah, in terms of Twitch versus YouTube, I think there are some inherent benefits to using Twitch as a platform, and that there are also some inherent uh, benefits to using YouTube. With Twitch, just off the top of my head, the Twitch community is quite phenomenal. If you're an active user of Twitch, there's a lot of kind of like very kind of diehard Twitch fans there. Also, monetization is a lot easier on Twitch. People are much more likely to kind of like use the Twitch bit system or do donations because that's kind of ingrained as part of the culture there. Whereas on YouTube, it's not. So I really think it depends on what your goal is. I think in terms of visibility and awareness, YouTube is definitely a better platform for that. Discoverability has been Twitch's Achilles heel for ever since its inception. Essentially, it's really hard to get discovered on Twitch, and the kind of like the best practice for a lot of people trying to grow on Twitch is actually to grow on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and then bring people over to Twitch because it's so hard to grow organically. So it really depends on what kind of what kind of company you're working for and whether you're doing it for a personal brand or not, as to kind of what platform is best suited for your goals. I realize I didn't give you quite a firm answer there, but that's that's kind of the answer I
I
have to
mean,
give.
it's so great to hear, one person's opinion about the platform. So I really like that. Also, I found that I'm streaming both YouTube and Twitch for the same topic at the same time, whether using platform like StreamYard or Restream, to doing the multi-streaming. That I saw the Japanese people I would say Japanese people prefer YouTube over the Twitch. So I was very curious why why this is happening. Should I move the platform to the YouTube? So I'm still figuring out what the best way for me to keep streaming on my side. So I really like that.
I've seen it. There's been quite a few creators now who have kind of moved over from Twitch to YouTube, and that's because, at least the reason that they did it was that Twitch is not necessarily too transparent in terms of like what can be monetized and what can't be. They ban creators just instantly, and as a I'm assuming you're not doing any hot tub streams, but but it's that kind of lack of transparency that kind of doesn't really sit right with a lot of people. And if your main kind of port of call is YouTube, so I would say for a developer advocate especially, where you're probably creating content that's quite evergreen. So you're not just making a vlog, you're making like a quite like niche video about a technical topic, how to integrate AWS with whatever, or how to use, for example, Twilio's APIs and that kind of thing. And that's going to be useful for people for an extended period of time, for years, as long as the API is relevant. And when you're streaming on Twitch, for instance, then you have to go from Twitch to the YouTube channel. But if you've got a YouTube channel, people can just click onto your next video. If you're creating something and you're like, oh, actually I did a video on this, you can check it out here, then people stay within the platform, and YouTube will kind of obviously recognize it as a favor in terms of the algorithm, the almighty algorithm. If you can keep people on the platform for as long as possible, then they'll recognize your content as good.
Cool. Yeah, I want to hear more about the secrets of the YouTube, your strategy to grow the numbers, but I to keep that to the event day. So last question, because we are reaching to the end of the interview. So one question.
Already? Okay.
Yeah, already. Yeah,
I'm talking too much.
No, that's the purpose of the interview. I want to ask you one thing, and I ask this question to every speaker that I interview. So, what is one thing you want your audience to take away from your talk? What learn from your talk?
Oh, that is a big question to end on. I think for what I want people to get out of this is that YouTube is an accessible avenue for them to create content. I don't want people to feel like YouTube isn't for them, or they're not able to kind of get on the platform, be able to be successful. It is a really hard platform to grow on. Like there's no getting around that. It's an incredibly difficult platform to grow on, and the number of skills that you need to have to be successful on that platform is quite vast. You need to learn how to script and edit videos. You need to learn how to edit videos. You need to learn how to set up cameras and lights, get everything looking pretty. You need to have plants in the background. You need to I'd be able to identify what content will work and what content won't work, and those skills take quite some time to build up. But the information is all out there. It just requires time and kind of patience and trial and error to kind of figure out what works for you and how you present, and what will work for the company that you're representing as well, and what kind of resonates with that audience. So to kind of sum it up, I want people to be able to come out of the talk and be like, yes, I can do this. Like I have a structure, I have a plan, I know what to do, I know what resources I need to go and look at to actually make this happen. Or on the flip side of that, be like, cool, YouTube is not going to work for the company that I work for. Also that, because I think there are some companies that work incredibly well on YouTube, and then there are some products that just aren't of interest to a lot of people. So I think understanding that is going to be quite important. So if I can help someone make a decision or encourage them onto the platform, then I'll be very happy.
Cool. Thank you. Yeah, so I'm pretty much like I said, I'm very interested in your talk, so I can't
Cool.
wait to listen to your talk on the day. Yeah. So thank you for joining me today. And if audience, if you wanna watch the Matt's video, here's his YouTube channel. So now he has a lot of interesting videos, and I went to check with his channel today, and I spent like 30 minutes straight to watching your videos. So yeah, I really encourage people to go there. Yeah. So yeah, like I said, thank you for joining today. And I hope we see you virtually on the day. Please be safe and have fun on the day.
Great. Thank you so much, everyone. Looking forward to seeing you all.
Thank you. See you. Bye. Thanks, Matt. So this is the end of the interview. Thank you for joining, Matt. And DevRelCon Tokyo 2021 is happening on June 5th. It's going to be free. So please go to the DevRelCon, search Google, and you can go to their website. And we have the game actually after you register sign up for the event. You can play and learn about when DevRel happened or where DevRel started, DevRelCon started, so something like that. So please play the game because I'm the one of the program for the game. So yeah, thank you for joining. Please see you soon. Bye.